Well, good morning, you cool cats and kittens. I'm coming to you today in a 315 Magnum with a GoPro. Because since you guys watch these videos more and more frequently, I figured I'd put some money and invest in having some better quality videos. So I got a GoPro or two and some drones, and we're ready to rock today. 315 Magnum. Field full of mare's tail coming up, and it's a poor man's burn down program. So we'll get this rig fired up this morning and we'll get going. Still missing our Pro 700, but that's okay. I don't need auto steer for everything. Let's go. See what we can't tear up. Try and miss my pickup. We'll drop the tool down here, go at a fairly decent angle, I guess. Just complaining because the Pro 700's not in here. There's 9th, 10th, 11th. See if she can hack 12th here in a second. Nah, we'll stay in 11th. That's pulling pretty good, so right about 8 miles an hour, 25 foot at a time. And the window's dirty, but it looks like it's doing a fairly decent job. I'll turn on my automatic windshield cleaner here. Out of wiper fluid, of course, but maybe you can see a little bit better now. Anyhow, that's what we're doing. Turning fields of green-brown today, so probably gonna plant some beans this afternoon. I'm waiting on my help to show up, and he's gonna take this tractor over, and I'm gonna go plant beans. So that's what we're doing. There's something incredibly satisfying about turning green fields brown. The problem is this VT doesn't exactly do that completely, but it is doing a nice job making a seed bed. Now, this is actually going into corn. And I'm gonna plant pretty much all my beans before I plant any corn, so this isn't gonna get planted for a little while. But some of this out here was a little bit rough, so I just wanted to get it leveled up. I'm going at a pretty heavy angle with it. It was kind of wet when I cut the beans last year, so I'm just trying to get it leveled up a little bit and knock the weeds back. It'll get worked a second time after it gets urea spread on it. I don't really like working ground twice, but this kind of needs leveled up, so that's what we're doing. Pulling pretty good though. Well, we're still scooting right along. I don't know if you can see across the interstate there, but that's what we did last night. Rolling right along. Got all that back over there done. Probably got, I don't know, 10 acres or so left on this side. Going about 10 miles an hour now. Tool's doing a really good job back there. So my help will be here in just a little bit, and stop here and show you. I don't know if you can see that dirt or not. I mean, we're leaving a few weeds, but not bad. But I really like the tool. I like the job that this tool's doing. It really makes a nice seed bed. It's nice in the fall running the disc blades completely straight just to chop residue, but I've got them set a little bit more aggressively now, and you can see that there is quite the seed bed. So I'm pretty happy with what it's doing. Speed definitely makes this thing work a lot better, but that said, there's also kind of a sweet spot with it, or if you get going too fast, it'll start bouncing and it really gets the ground unlevel. So you just kind of got to pay attention to it and make sure that it's not bouncing too bad. But like right now, it's bouncing a little bit, but not terrible. But I'm also bouncing over ruts that some idiot that sprayed this last year made. I wouldn't know who that was, but it's a little bit rough out here just for the sprayer tracks, and I actually am going at like a 45-degree angle with the way this was sprayed, so that's why I'm bouncing a lot out here. It's just every 60 foot I'm crossing those, but it's doing a pretty good job leveling them up, and this will probably get hit a second time after it gets fertilized spread on it too. So pretty happy with how it's going. You can see what we've got done from up here. A little bit of a hilly farm, but not too bad. But you drop over on the other side of the interstate there and it's flat as a pancake. That's all just creek bottom, so it's pretty mucky stuff. I ripped all that ground, so this stuff over here I don't like to do too much tillage on just because it's kind of a hillside, but it's a necessary evil every now and then, especially when the sprayer guy ruts it up the year before. So we're knocking out the end rows here, and looks like my help's over there. He just showed up, so he's gonna take this over and jump on the other side of the interstate with it and start working up that ground that I'd ripped, and we're gonna go plant some beans. All right, today's the day. We're gonna plant beans. Now granted, we've already planted some, but not a lot. But got 4 new tires on the back of this thing. Moved the front tires in, dished them in so they're running on 30-inch rows. Brand new rubber, so we can crawl through the mud with the planter this year. That way I get to pressure wash all the seed tubes out. It's always a fun job. So we'll get her fired up here and we'll go plant some beans. Auto steers on, 2020's turning on, and then on the iPad we've got to go in to climate, change our field to farm read Grandpa North L field. That's what we want. Yes. Okay, 2020 connected, and we are ready to go. Except we've got to accept the auto steer agreement that we could die if it crashes us into a tree, but other than that, we're good to go. So we'll pick the planter up and it's go time. Already got seed in it, already greased, it's already ready to roll, so it's go time. The end row, getting the end rows planted on this second little patch. I've jumped across the ditch here. The dust is rolling, it's plenty dry. Population's right where I want it, everything's working good. We're closing the seed trench good. Only problem is we got a few washouts. Actually gonna try and hold you guys steady for a second. I hate twisting up the planter and stuff like that, but that's going to be a wintertime project to get a bunch of terraces and tile put in. But for the time being, we'll deal with it. But we're planting about 145,000 as our population. So pretty happy with that. We're about to set an AB line and we'll be off to the races. They're going in good. Going about 6 miles an hour and life's good. Still rolling. Got some acres planted, as you can see. We are planting a Pioneer 3-2 maturity enlist bean, which is a very early maturity, especially for me. I like to plant 3/8 to 4/5s. I've even planted that late of a maturity, but my plan is to get these cut early, plant early and cut early, and probably end up planting some winter wheat this fall, potentially. So I don't know if we will or not, but it's something that I would like to kind of do, but time will tell, and the market will tell too. But one thing I've got to fix is this squeaky seat, because it's about to drive me nuts. We're planting though. Well, there's the first one done. We're gonna go back to the farm, grab some fuel, grab some seed, and head to some reclaimed coal ground and go start planting it. I think I've got about 140-ish, 120 to 140 acres. I don't know what it'll come out to, but out there, I'd like to get that planted in the next couple days, which I should be able to do pretty easily. as long as we don't have any breakdowns or anything. So back to the farm we go. That field planted pretty nicely. So now what I planted about a week ago, I may have to run the rotary hoe over. The beans are trying to come up, but the ground's crusting over the top of them. So I may have to rotary hoe that, but that's okay. I planted them thick because I knew I probably would have to. I was just kind of experimenting and making sure that all this crap was gonna work. So I didn't plant very many, like 10, 15 acres at the most. So it's not like I'm out much if I do have to replant them. I mean, I do have free replant on the seed. I just don't know if they'll need replanted or not yet, so not too worried about it. But we do have a rotary hoe that I can run over it, and I planted them about 165,000. So even if we take out 20% of them with a rotary hoe, we'll still have above where I'm comfortable having a stand, so I'm happy with that. Looks like somebody plowed into that sign the other day. I wish they'd hit the rest of them so I could bush hog down through here without going around them all. But anyhow, we're gonna go get fuel. We're back here at the farm. Well, the seed wagon was in an inconvenient spot to hook onto it with a pickup, so the skid steer is a little more nimble, so that's what we're using. May look a little funny, but it works. I just want to drag it out here. That way when I spill half of it that I'm trying to get in the planter, it's not all over my driveway. This way it's actually out in the field. There we go. It's a lot easier to back a wagon with a skid steer too, as you can see. Not hard at all this way. Good enough. So a friend of mine, he is working on getting the tank on the tender trailer fastened down. I'm grabbing some lunch, sponsored by Little Debbie, and currently looking for what I did with all of my graphite that I bought for the planter. It's around here somewhere, I just don't know where I put it. That's a problem, because I got a bunch of it, and I don't know where it's at. Shop is a mess again. What the heck did I do with it? Found it. Last place I would have looked, but I found it. I did not put those here. But there's one full box there and one full box there, so we got plenty of it to get through spring. I want to get done planting beans already just so I can start planting corn, because I've got some hybrids this year I'm pretty excited about. We've got Agrigold, we got Pioneer, and we got DeKalb. So what I would call the big three around here. I've got a little bit of everything. More so Agrigold on the corn than anything, but quite a bit of Pioneer as well. And a little bit of DeKalb, but that DeKalb number I'm pretty happy to have. It's 6744, and it has been kicking butt around here, so I wanted to try a little bit of that. But all of my beans this year are 100% Pioneer, with the exception of like 30 bags of cropland. But those croplands will probably get put in the ground either tomorrow or the day after that, I don't know. But we got fuel in the planter, now we just got to throw some seed in it and we will be ready to roll again. Alright, well, we are filled up and headed down the road, so on to the next one we go. And when we get there, we get there. Should have about 60 acres worth of seed in there, so I think I'll have to fill up at least one more time, but we'll find out. Maybe twice, I don't know. But I'd like to run the planter until it's empty this afternoon. I've actually got a wedding to go to later this afternoon, so gonna have to shut the planter down and go to that. But we at least got something done today. We know the planter's gonna work. Tomorrow is Easter, so I doubt that I do much tomorrow at all. After family dinners and all that, I'll probably just take it easy tomorrow. But come Monday, we're gonna be balls to the walls, really getting after it. So I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to, like I said, get done planting soybeans so I can start planting corn. And I've just now started planting soybeans. We've only got about 60 acres done so far. So we're about 10%, but, or we're 10% of the beans. Not even close to 10% done total, but we're making a dent in it. But we're gonna keep chipping away at it this afternoon and see what we can't get done. Well, it looks like that's all we're gonna get planted for now because my wife's here. So apparently it's time for me to clean up and go to a wedding, which I'm not thrilled about, but it is what it is. So off to the wedding we go. Well, it's Easter Sunday, but got all the family dinners knocked out. Visited with them and my wife today, so now that I'm home, I should say, I'm gonna try and get a little bit planted. So I just grabbed some graphite. I'm actually holding that and holding this GoPro in the same hand, but grabbing some graphite and hooking onto the seed tender, and we're gonna go put a few acres in the ground tonight. It's a beautiful day out, so I really can't make myself not go to the field. So that's where we're headed. It is a beautiful evening out. It's gonna be some nice running tonight, hopefully. Got the tender back there, dragging it along. The planter shouldn't need seed anytime soon, so I'd say we'll plant till it needs filled up, and that'll be about dark, and I might fill up and plant one more time and call that good tonight, but I don't know. We'll see. There she is. What a beauty. What a beauty. All unfolded out like. Smells like shit right here. Probably because most of that little dirt pile, well, a lot of that little dirt pile isn't just dirt, but that's beside the point. Let's get to planting. Letting everything fire up here. GPS is getting signal, and after that we'll be ready to roll. I've planted 21 acres just in end rows, which is a lot of what this farm is. I don't know if you can see that very well or not, but a whole lot of end rows here. Very, very odd shaped fields. But yeah, 21 acres there. I don't know what we're gonna end up coming up with on our final count. I don't know how many acres is actually here, but we'll figure it out when we get that planted, I guess. So that's what we're doing. Looks like this about has signal, so it's time to go. Planting time. Here's the problem with reclaimed cold ground. Rocks. Everywhere there's rocks. So we're gonna pick these up as we find them. The problem is, unlike some of those northern farmers, I don't have a rock box on this tractor, so I guess they're just gonna have to go in the cab with me for now. But I'd rather get out and pick them up than I would run them through the combine, so that's why we're doing it. Planting pretty good though. Well, the best part about tonight is there's nobody else out around, so it's not a game to see who kicks their lights on last. When you're the only guy out here, you can go ahead and kick on your lights early. We're getting right along, but man, this ground's rough. That's just part of reclaim ground, but it looks fairly flat. But this whole field, this whole farm's doing one of these, so we're getting right along though. We've got about 40 acres planted, so we're making a dent in it. Well, apparently row 22 isn't planting, but upon further investigation, I spun the wheels over and row 22 is planting, so I gave it a colonoscopy with a seed tube brush, and we'll see if it reads now. It's definitely just a sensor because it's definitely planting, but we'll go see if that made any difference or not. Well, row 22 is still not one to plant, so my fix to that is unplug the sensor and quit listening to it, because if the sensor's bad, the sensor's bad, but I'm not gonna sit here and listen to it complain to me all night, wherever the sensor's even at. That could be why. That wire hanging down there, I don't know. We'll unplug it and see if that fixes it or not. It very well could have actually rubbed a hole in itself. I don't know. Is that one? Just loop-de-loops up to here. No, I don't think that's it. But in the meantime, we'll tuck this away so we don't rip the thing off. We'll tuck it in here and call that a day, because I'm not gonna sit here and listen to it complain. That's how we do that. Well, the planter just ran empty, which is fine, because the way I had the population set on it, I figured I ought to be doing right at 60 acres. Well, 58.8 is pretty dang close, so say the population's right where I want it. It's dark, it's Sunday, and I'm not gonna push it, so we're gonna fold this. Well, actually, we're not gonna fold it up, but we are gonna take it back up to the pickup, back to the seed tender, and I'm not gonna worry about getting it filled tonight. I can do that in the morning in the daylight, so we're not gonna push it hard yet, except for tomorrow. Actually, we will be pushing it pretty hard. We'll give this thing a good greasing, servicing, looking over in the morning, and get it filled up with seed and finish this farm up. There's 58 acres remaining here according to climate, so hopefully we can get this farm done in one fill up. It'd be dang close, but if we get this farm done in one fill up, then we will move on to another farm tomorrow. That's about 100 acres, so I'd like to get this one and that one done tomorrow. About 150 acres, be a pretty good day, so that's my game plan tomorrow. We'll keep chugging along. If I do get 150 acres done tomorrow, that'll put me at roughly 300 acres done. So really, for not pushing it, and it's only Easter today, that's pretty good. So I wouldn't mind getting all the beans planted this week, honestly. First into the second week of April, getting completely done with beans and switching to corn when I'm done and knocking the corn out. So I do have a lot of spraying to do, so if it does rain and makes the ground a little bit tacky for a day or two, I'll probably go do some spraying. Honestly, that's probably what I should be doing, but the ground is fit, the ground is warm, the ground is dry, so I'm gonna say that I'll probably keep planting, but I know that I do have some fields that are starting to look a little woolly that are gonna need sprayed. So you couldn't tell it's dry by looking at the planter because I just drug it through a mud hole, but I promise you it's dry. You can see the dust coming off the tires and stuff here. It's dry, but this reclaim ground has some dips and little ponds in the middle of it that doesn't drain worth a crap, but it's just kind of part of the animal that this ground is. But 58 acres done, 58 to go. I'm gonna call that a pretty good Sunday night. So took it easy, watched a nice sunset, didn't work too hard on a Sunday. And it's not really working on a Sunday when you love what you're doing, so I don't see it as a problem. But anyhow, time to find some dinner and get a shower and catch some sleep before this crazy week kicks off. So there's also a lot of washout ditches around here. I'm going to do a lot of winter projects on this farm to eliminate some of those, but for the time being we're running it like it is. I mean, I could come in and disc them in, but honestly they just wash out even more, so we're just gonna leave them alone. There was a few that I brought the skid steer in and shoved in, but those were just the bad ones. The little ones you just kind of have to leave alone. But anyhow, I'll quit rambling, and I'm probably gonna cut this video off now. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully the quality of this video is a little bit better, seeing as it is on a GoPro. And I don't think I used any drone footage in this, but I don't know, I might have. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully the quality is a little bit better, because I invested quite a bit of money into new cameras and editing software and all that. So I don't know, maybe they're not any better. Maybe I should keep doing them on my iPhone, but it is what it is. Anyhow, I'm gonna shut up now and I'm gonna go get something to eat. So thanks for watching.